Hi, let's revisit Polkadot, ticker symbol DOT, currently at $36.35, going up by 9%. Polkadot is in the top 10 cryptocurrencies. It's market rank number 8 with a market cap of 36 billion. Now, as usual, we will not look at the fundamentals of the project. We will mainly focus on charts. And we will not just look at the US dollar chart, because what you want to do is when you invest into altcoins, when you take on more risk than simply buying Bitcoin or Ethereum, what you want is, by buying something more risky, you're looking for outperformance, right? You don't just want general crypto market exposure. Crypto assets, they are pretty highly correlated. Here, for example, look at this. These are the correlation coefficients between different crypto assets. They're all above 1. And a lot of them also above 0.5. So the correlation coefficients between crypto assets, they tend to be pretty high. When Bitcoin goes up or down, when Ethereum goes up or down, it's very likely that your altcoin will move in the same direction. And so when you go riskier on your altcoin, you want outperformance. You're looking to make more performance than simply what Bitcoin or Ethereum does, right? Look at the 7-day performance. The general direction of the market tends to be pretty much the same, right? We've got here a negative on almost all of those altcoins for the last 7 days. So when we look now at the Polkadot chart, let's not look too much at the US dollar chart, because really, if Bitcoin goes up since the 20th of July, if Ethereum goes up since the 20th of July, your altcoin, here namely Polkadot, goes up since then as well. Look at Bitcoin, for example, it goes up since the 20th of July. No different for Ethereum, going up since the 20th of July. And so Polkadot is experiencing the same. This is high correlation. But what we want to look at is relative performance. And so let's look at Polkadot versus Bitcoin. And we can already see we've got a few lines over here, horizontal lines. These are from previous videos. So this is not the very first video on Polkadot. And so it looks like over the very long term, this is a chart that starts in August of last year. Polkadot and Bitcoin seem to be in some kind of a trading range. We seem to be performing somewhat in tandem with Bitcoin. And the next resistance could be at an outperformance of 20%. The next support could be around an underperformance of 28% or so. So nobody knows if these lines will really stay intact, right? You could also simply draw a long-term rising trend, right? Something like this, just with a lot of volatility. And this is actually what you really want. You want, whenever betting on something that's riskier than Bitcoin, and that's basically every crypto, you want this over the long term to outperform. And so if you look at the relative outperformance here, say we take the middle point of that trend, we are looking at approximately 130% in a bit over a year. So that's pretty good if we can stay in this kind of trend, because that's what you really want. Polkadot has a market dominance of 1.7%. Bitcoin has a market dominance of 41%. So in other words, Bitcoin is 24 times larger than Polkadot. And so with this increased risk, you need long-term outperformance. And that's also what seems to be happening here. Now let's look at Polkadot versus Ethereum. And this chart kind of confirms the issue with these sideways trading ranges. We do tend to see supports on those charts, but they're not definite, right? We didn't directly bounce off here in June. We fell another 16, 17% or so, and then bounced up again. And what I like about this chart, which is uncommon for most altcoins, is that we actually outperform Ethereum since the 20th of July by 79%, and this happened pretty consistently. That's uncommon. Here, look at relative performance of Cardano. This is the 20th of July. This is now the Cardano price divided by the Ethereum price. The relative performance of Cardano to Ethereum, it first went down. It underperformed 20% and then outperformed. So the outperformance here is much less consistent. Polkadot, however, seems to be almost like a leveraged Ethereum. If Ethereum goes up, Polkadot seems to really go up more. And it's also nice to see that this positive momentum seems to continue, and I don't see a lot of resistances over here. We could still see a potential outperformance of 45%, or if it goes really well, 118% versus Ethereum. So if the overall market stays bullish, there's quite a bit of room to grow here. And if you look at trading volume, of course, it's higher than usual, which is usually not a good sign, right? More trading volume means more attention. Attention can move from coin to coin, meaning that when attention shifts away from Polkadot, the trading volume could fall and the price could follow as well. So the slightly higher trading volume is not ideal, but it's nowhere near where it used to be, right? Here in January of this year, December of last year, we had way more trading volume. And we had this over several days, over several weeks. This here still looks quite harmless. The only thing to watch out for is, does the altcoin rally continue? Because there is some kind of Damocles sword hanging over the overall crypto market, and that's Bitcoin dominance. This is the long-term Bitcoin dominance chart. This shows how much of all of crypto is in Bitcoin. And the lower this goes, the more risk appetite there is in the market. So that means a lot of people, they shift away from Bitcoin and they move into the altcoins to make more money, to take on more risk, and to potentially trade. And that means that the long-term investment money, this portfolio allocation money that typically Bitcoin is, this becomes less important as an overall fraction of all of crypto. So the time horizons, they are shortening. There's more risk baked into the overall crypto market right now. And when this goes too low, that's a problem. Now the question is, what is too low? Is this all-time low over here at 36% of all of crypto being Bitcoin? Is this the danger zone again, or can we potentially fall further? Who knows, right? But probably Bitcoin dominance is not going to drop to like 15 or 10% and stay that low forever. At that point, crypto is probably too overheated. Because here, see what happened at the beginning of 2018 when we were that low. We had a crypto winter afterwards, right? Bitcoin fell by more than 80%. Ethereum fell by 94%. And other altcoins, they fell even more, right? Cardano fell by 98%. So when the market is too overheated, that can be potentially a problem. And I think Bitcoin dominance is a pretty good measure of figuring out how much risk is currently being tolerated by the market, and it is a lot of risk. So just be aware of this when trading Polkadot. The overall market needs to stay positive, and when it does, the potential looks pretty good. The momentum seems to be on the side of Polkadot. Just look at the overall market. One way to look at this is also checking Ethereum. How's Ethereum doing? And I like to look at two moving averages, the 39-day moving average in dark blue and the 23-day moving average in light blue. Those are back-tested averages. They work the best, historically speaking, for Ethereum. There are separate videos on this on the channel as well. And currently, we are flirting with the 39-day moving average. The 23-day moving average is already bearish. Trading volume tends to decline, which is bad for price. And so I'm not too heavy on altcoins right now. I find the situation right now a bit too dangerous. I prefer coming out of a bear market and then breaking positive. But if you're still bullish, if you're fine with this kind of risk, then by all means, if you're looking for a short-term trade, Polkadot very much looks like it's going to outperform Ethereum. Trading volume does not look dangerous. There's no major resistance over here. And if you look at the US dollar chart, there's one thing to look out for, and that's the last all-time highs, right? There is potentially a resistance somewhere around 46, 47 US dollars. So that's like in 24, 30%, somewhere in that area, right? We see similar things with Cardano. The $3 mark seems to be the psychological hurdle now. So this is something to look out for. But overall, the momentum looks quite bullish. If you're looking for an entry point of how to time this, if you're not yet invested in Polkadot at all, one way to do this is to look at the relative strength index, the RSI, on the hourly chart, and then just look for low values. So this is now the rally since the 20th of July. And we can see when we are relatively low on the RSI, say around the 33 mark, that we tend to get potentially pretty good entry points. So here's one on the 27th of July. That's pretty good. Here's one on the 8th of August and on the 9th of August. This looks pretty good, right? Continue on the 12th of August. So there is a way to time these entry points relatively well using the hourly RSI. And so currently we are not very low on that, but just keep an eye on this indicator. I think it does make sense to not instantly buy in, but to maybe wait until we hit this threshold over here. And one way to get notified, in case you're not yet aware, is to simply click here on this alert icon, and you can set the RSI being below a certain value, so say in this case 33, then you can get an email and you can just create this, and then whenever you get that email, you can simply go ahead and buy. That's, I think, a reasonable method to time entry points. For exit points, the RSI tends to not work as well. So I would not sell once the RSI is high. Here, look, for example, on the 30th of August, we continued to rise afterwards. So for exit opportunities, find another approach, maybe look at very elevated trading volumes. That's one way to do it, but don't use the RSI. At least I don't use the RSI for that purpose. If you enjoyed this video, you might consider joining our community on Telegram. We've got 2 channels, one public chat. We are currently around 600 people discussing a lot of altcoins over there, discussing the overall crypto market. And we've also got a news channel. So this is simply announcements for new videos on the channel. It's also my personal opinion about the market. So this only has maybe 2 or 3 messages per day. The chat here has thousands of messages a day. So pick whatever you like. And in case you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do that as well. I publish a video every single day. And since the videos are time sensitive, you might as well hit the notifications, because what's the point to look at an altcoin analysis when it's already 2 or 3 months old? In case you've liked the video, thank you for that. YouTube helps to grow the channel. See you next time. Bye bye.